Hello everyone, my name is Luisa Mendoza, founder and CEO of Global Tourism, Sports and Entertainment. Today I come to you to hopefully share and shed some light and hope and inspiration in midst of everything that is going on. For me, the first of the month has always been the best day of the month. The reason is because I feel it's an opportunity to start a new chapter, a new journey, to be inspired. And there are 2 days in the year that I absolutely love, probably my favorite days of the year. One is January 1st, because it's when we start a new chapter, and June 1st, because it's an opportunity to say we are midway in the year, and it's an opportunity to do an assessment. And so anybody that knows me knows that I love motivational quotes. To me, motivational quotes inspire me. It's a little one phrase sentence that makes you think and just ignites you. And so earlier this year, should I say end of last year, I bought this little deck of cards that I absolutely love because it's all these awesome quotes. And this morning I said, all right, June, God, universe, what do you have in store for me? And the card that I pulled out this morning was this one right here. And it says, the minute you begin to do what you really want to do, it's really a different kind of life. By Buckminster Fuller. I'll repeat that, guys. The minute you begin to do what you really wanted to do, it's really a different kind of life. And so what that says to me is stop procrastination. How perfect. If I would have sat and gone through all of these and looked for this one, it wouldn't have stood out as much as it did by just popping it out. And this just says stop procrastination, right? And I think of June 1st, and something really special happened this weekend. I went for an amazing walk. I did 13.3 miles with my honey. We parked on 71st and 3rd Avenue. We got out the car. We didn't know how many miles. We didn't set any expectations. We just said, let's go and enjoy this gorgeous day and see what this day has to offer us, and let's just explore the city. And so we walked from 71st and 3rd and made our way down beautiful 5th Avenue by Central Park and saw all the stores, and it was different. It was different to see New York empty, but nonetheless, it was still beautiful. We passed by One Vanderbilt that's being constructed. It'll be the newest observatory that comes to New York when everything is said and done. We crossed over. We walked, before we got there, of course, we walked by St. Patrick's Cathedral, one of my favorite places in Manhattan. And then we finally crossed over and made ourselves to the West Side. We went through Times Square. It was crazy seeing it empty. And then we actually had an opportunity to go down by Hudson Yards, see the Edge. And we wanted to walk the High Line, but that was impossible. So, because it was closed. By this time we were getting a little hungry. So we went down and we went to Whitman. My dear friend Haley took me there, and now I'm hooked. Probably best burgers in New York. One of the best burger places in New York for sure. I'm not gonna say the best, but it's in my top 5. And so we got to the West Side Highway, we sat down, we ate there since you can't eat in the restaurants right now. And it was just so much happened. By the time we got there, we had stopped by Bryant Park. We had saw the peaceful protest. At that point, it was still peaceful. And all of this was just kind of like amazing to see everything that was happening, how much has changed in 1 year. And so finally we make our way back. We go through Columbus Circle. We decide to go through Central Park Central Park, and we were walking by and enjoying the scenes, and we eventually get to the car. And at that point, we had walked for about 5 hours and change, and we're stretching. We just finished stretching. We sit in the car, and my honey goes, by 2 miles, it would have been a half marathon. So anybody that knows me, I was like, wait, what? We need to get back out. Like, we were this close. We can't stop now. So we get out. Not even a second we sat down. And we get out, and I'm like, no, we're going to finish strong. And he goes, absolutely, we're going to finish strong. So at this point, we got 2 miles left. Mind you, I had walked 11.3 something miles. I was exhausted. I was beat. My legs were hurting. My thighs were hurting. My legs were on fire. But I couldn't say anything because my honey was walking around with a 30-pound backpack. He's a rucker, whatever they call that, right? You walk with this heavy backpack, which is amazing. He's done 63 miles. And we're like, let's go. So we're running, and we're about a mile in, and my shoe becomes loose, and so I have to bend down to tie my shoe. And at this point, I'm exhausted. I'm like, half of me wants to give up, and the other half of me is like, don't you dare give up. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna keep on going. And I get up and I go, like, my motivation was, you had COVID-19. I was really sick, and yet I'm alive. I'm breathing. Are you serious? You're gonna give up? Absolutely not. And I just ran that last mile. I did a new breathing, 1 in, 2 out. So it was, I kind of felt like I was giving birth all over again. I was just doing everything and anything to keep myself going. And having my honey right next to me, behind me, doing the same breathing as I was doing, just really pushed me. And when I got to the car, it felt so good. I was exhausted, but it felt amazing. And so I share this with you guys because it just goes to show the power of the mind, the power of having the right people in your life to encourage you, to motivate you, to challenge you, makes all the difference. And at that point, I thought to myself, oh my God, this is like amazing that we were able to do this. But at the same time, you know, as I sit here today on June 1st, I want to ask you guys 3 questions. Question number 1, what have you done this year that has inspired you, that has left you in awe? 2020 has been a heck of a year. Somebody once said, like, have you tried restarting it? Is there a reboot? And with all that said, despite everything that has happened, 2020 has been a very magical year for me because it gave me an opportunity to realize how beautiful life is, to not take the little things for granted. Waking up, being able to breathe, when I open my eyes in the morning and I take a deep breath, I'm just like, wow, God, you're amazing. Like, I'm alive. The second question I have for you, what have you been wanting to do all year? We're 6 months in. What was on that resolution list that you haven't gotten to yet? It's okay. We have a whole year. You can make that difference today. And question number 3, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do to push yourself, to drive yourself, to turn the switch on, to go from wanting something to actually doing it? Like I mentioned, for me, this year was phenomenal. The fact that I was able to start my own company, to be on Univision as the first Hispanic female in the United States to start a sports, tourism, and entertainment company, phenomenal. But there was something about that run on Saturday that was a game changer. I pushed myself. I was thankful for life. It just felt amazing. This morning I woke up And I'm like, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna snooze? Are you gonna go out there and do something different? I was supposed to have an 8 o'clock conference call. It didn't happen. I immediately put on my jogging clothes and I left. And I went for a 3.3 run in about an hour, under an hour. Don't judge my time. I'm just starting that doing all of this again. But it felt great, guys. And so, again, right? What is that one thing you've been wanting to do that you are going to take today and say, no more? That's it. Game change. Game changer. This is a new life. It's a new day. It's a new month. And I have the rest of the next 6 months to go out there and make it happen for myself, for my family, for my loved ones. And so today, I hope this quote, my story, has inspired you to get out there and do what's on your heart. Tomorrow is not promised to any one of us. And I think that's one thing we've all have really seen this year. And so my wish for all of you is that you will make the next 6 months of this year the best 6 months. You have the pen. You are the author of your book. You get to write in it. And as Mark Cuban says, the best investment you make is the one that you make in yourself. For me, even though things are really, tight right now, I wanted to invest in having coaches in my life. I wanted to invest in my health. I wanted to invest in my family, in my daughter, in being able to see her gorgeous face every day and go to the park and just enjoy life with her. In the midst of all of this, while we were all on a lockdown, now I'm going to get a little personal. I've been single for the last 4 years, hoping to meet the right one. I've had a few relationships here and there, nothing serious. And when I least expected it, I found a remarkable man. Who would have ever thought? In New York, right? I've been dating internationally. And finally, in the midst of the great pause, I meet a man who had all the things on my checklist, who pushes me, who encourages me. And I share that with you because right when you think that something is impossible, you just never know how God in the universe can turn any situation around to give you the love you desire, to give you the inspiration, to give you your fitness goals, to give you those things you've been wanting, whatever they are. I'm a firm believer in prayer, in faith, and affirmations, and positivity, and putting the right people in your life and taking out those that only bring negativity. Get those out. But those that inspire you, they're worth keeping. So let's make the rest of 2020 a phenomenal year. Here is me sending you a big hug, kisses, and all my positive energy. Take care, be safe, be encouraged, and remember, all things are possible for those who have the courage to follow their dreams. Take care, guys.